You had a COVID outbreak, I believe, at Staten Island facility.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
So, part and parcel to that is the fact that they weren't, using the CDC mandates and having maybe too many people on the floor. And Amazon should really be held responsible for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In the beginning there wasn't any masks or gloves. There wasn't social distancing going on. It wasn't until there was concerns raised when that's when the PPE was provided. After that, yeah.
No, I think it does. You're right to not trust that, because clearly if people you're interacting with on the regular basis are getting COVID and they're not telling you, that points to them not actually implementing the program they're saying that they're implementing. They would have told you, right? But that would also lead to you perhaps not being able to work, or they would have to isolate workers, or that would affect productivity.
Yeah, and I had literally talked to leadership one time, and they had told me that their big thing is we're not causing a panic. And honestly, the sad truth is more associates find out if they came into contact with somebody with COVID from other associates. That's the tragic truth. And I can say this a million times, that they will tell people, they've literally told people to only tell the people that necessarily need to know. Like people that tested positive for COVID, they would tell them, oh, no, only tell people that you think that really need to know, people that you've come into contact with. But the fact that they even need to say that is ridiculous. Like, you should tell everybody you came into contact with, whether or not you feel like it's been long enough or not.
Right.
It doesn't take minutes for this virus to pass on to somebody. It could take seconds. Right. So the fact that you're telling people, only tell people that you feel really need to know is ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you feel like somebody needs to know, you should be able to tell them.
Yeah.
Especially since, no offense, it's your medical information, so you're allowed to tell whoever you want.
Right. Tristan, something tells me that their need to know basis is very minimal.
Yes, it is tragically so. Like, they won't even tell you the department. Like, they'll just tell you somebody in the building. And when I asked them about this, their reasoning was that, if we tell them the department, people could figure out who it was, by judging about who wasn't here and who. I'm like, I get that, but to be honest, like, I feel like that is not so much of a thing, because people leave and don't come back to Amazon for many reasons. They take vacations, this, that, and the third. And, all that you're saying right now could be speculation from other people, which is what we're already going to do as soon as we get that message.
Right.
If you tell people in a department, they can be more safe. They could say, you know what, somebody in my department tested positive. Maybe I should go get tested, just to be safe. But you're telling people in a building-wide thing, so it kind of minimizes. Like, the fact is that you think that it's not a thing that will affect you, because it's just a building. It's a big building.
Right.
But if you tell people in a certain department, like, somebody in your department tested, but I feel like people would be more cautious. They get tested more often. I feel like it would minimize things, but Amazon only ever tries to do the bare minimum of what they have to do, like the very bare, which is crazy for a company that claims to go above and beyond for its associates. Yes, and still is. I actually just received a COVID notification from Amazon today that a coworker tested positive.
Oh, you're kidding. Today you received a notification that one of your coworkers tested positive?
Yes. One of the people in the facility. We still get those messages that when somebody tests positive for COVID. But I've said it before, and I've said
happen?
Once a week, maybe, if not more sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah. I would say about once a week. Maybe there's like 1 or 2 weeks. Maybe there's sometimes there's 1 week where we don't get it. But I would say mostly about once a week.
And then let me ask you this, now that you brought that up, after you received this information that somebody tested positive for COVID, do they do tests for everybody around, or what do they do to prevent any sort of spreading?
Their policy is contact tracing.
Okay.
Which I've said many times before, I have no faith in. Because back when this all started, I would bring many questions about contact tracing. Their contact tracing method, it was saying that when someone tests positive for COVID, they would look back at the cameras for about a week and see whoever that person came into contact with. Mm-hmm. And the reason I had so many questions about that was because, one, everybody has their mask up. You know, so how could you identify who every person is that this person came into contact with?
Right.
And two was, you know, how would they judge about who deserves to be contact traced? When we first started, their policy was 15 consecutive minutes of contact with the mask down. So the mask had to be down for you to be contacted.
That's crazy.
But the stigma then was that, oh, what happens if you get fired for violating the mask policy?
Right.
And then a couple months later, I had done some research, and the CDC had released a new policy stating that it was no longer 15 consecutive minutes, but 15 minutes of interaction total throughout the entire day. And I put on the VOA board, the voice of the associates board, that I needed to speak to somebody about their policy. And it's funny, it seemed like they had almost predicted exactly what I was going to do, because as soon as that happened, before I even said anything, they said, yes, there's a change in our policy. You know, this is now the new thing. But the thing is, nobody trusts the contact tracing. To this day, I have not met a single person that has been contact traced. And I have known a couple people that have tested positive for COVID, personal.
Yeah.
Even my neighbor and my good friend, Jordan, who just tested positive for COVID, who I know for a fact is in contact with many people throughout the entire day because of his job of walking around the building as a Amazon robotics tech. I still don't know a single person. And many of these people are good friends of mine, personal friends. And I don't know a single one of them that have been contact traced, even though.
So it's not, obviously it's not working. I mean, if this guy's one of your besties and you see him all the time, they would have contacted you and said Jordan has COVID, and that didn't happen.
No,
Wow.
They would tell. And I know personal people that he has without a doubt been in contact with, because I still do the job of amnesty. And whenever we come to the desk in the morning to grab our equipment, we are all there huddled in the same area, because we all grab our equipment and all this, that. And for them to not contact trace a single person,
Yeah.
says a lot about the policy, and that's why I have no trust.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com, where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.